Okay, I got a request from someone to show how to set up a league on the Strat-O-Matic computer, just like did the Demolition League. So I'm going to take you through that process from start to finish. First thing we're going to do is look at the little cursor here. We're going to go up to the top of the menu where we have File, Edit, and League. We want to stop on League. Left click on League, and you see Create New League. That's what we want. You could also do Alt. See, it's got underscore C. We could also do underscore C, which I believe is either Control C or Alt C. I'm not sure which. Must be Alt C. No, not that one. Well, either way, I tell you I'm not a guru, so I'll go the old-fashioned way. Create new league. There we go. We need to create a year or give it a year, and it's got to be 4 numbers, like 1978 or 2022 or whatever. Got to be all 4 digits. So these seasons that are here, all in numerical order, I want this season to be at the tip top. So it has to be something prior to 1946. So I'll just call it 1900 just to be simple. Abbreviation for the league is LD, which is Demolition League in reverse. It's also the abbreviation or whatever for my old high school. And we'll just call it Demo League. Why not? Alright, and we want 54 games per team. Alright, that's as far as we go with that. Don't go anywhere else with that. Just go ahead and put that information in and hit OK. Now the league is showing up right here at the top of our menu. It's right there. But the league has no teams. We have to have teams for the league. So we're going to go to these other leagues and cherry pick the teams we want to add to this demo league. So my first one I'm going to go to is 1955 National League. I'm going to go to the Brooklyn Dodgers. So we'll go to the Brooklyn Dodgers, pick them up with the left mouse key. You see that circle with the line through it, says we've got it grabbed. Bring it over. You see a red box. That red box goes all over the place. You want it up top where the demo league is, and you just drop it, release that mouse pad or left mouse key, and Brooklyn is now there. And then we just rinse and repeat for the other seasons we want to bring in. We'll bring in 1991 Yankees, or 1961 Yankees rather. Put that there. We'll bring in the 1967 Impossible Dream Red Sox. Put them there. From 1971, we'll bring in the Pittsburgh Pirates. Bring them there. 1973, we'll bring in the Oakland A's. And they are there. From 1975, we'll bring in the Cincinnati Reds, Big Red Machine. They are there. 77, I'll bring in the Philadelphia Phillies. Drop them there. 1982, we'll bring in the Milwaukee Brewers. Drop them in. Let's see, 1991, I'll bring in Atlanta. And then say from 2000 and what do we want? 2000. How about 2011? We'll bring in the Texas Rangers from 2011. Because I need an American League team. I would bring in St. Louis, but we need an American League team to round this out. So there we go. Now we got our 10 teams, 5 national, 5 American. Now that we've got them in here, we need to go to League and Update League. So we're going to update our league. This is the first page we already did. We go to the next section, which talks about sub-league info. You only really need one sub-league. So it's sub-league 1. And sub-league 1 we'll just call Demo. And we'll do it DM for the heck of it. Then we skip down to divisional info. And this is where you're going to decide, do you want one 10-team division or do you want 2 5-team divisions? So in this case, we're going to do 2 5-team divisions. We'll put the National League teams in one division, American League teams in the other. So the number of divisions is going to be 2. And Division 1 is going to be American. So the American League teams are going to be in Division 1. It's going to be in Sub-League 1. So we make sure that change that 0 to a 1. Make this national. And again, 1. So now American Leagues are Division 1, National Leagues Division 2. So now we need to assign the teams to their divisions. And again, we're going to have the National League teams be in number 2. So we take all of them right now default to 1. So for the National League teams, we're going to edit them and change them to 2s. That'll put them in Division 2 where the American Leagues are in Division 1. Then we go to the next one, which is team nicknames, and some of these I did not change when I was first inputting these or installing these, so I will do that now. Get these imaginary names that the Strat-O-Matic computer has put in there for copyright reasons, obviously. Alright, so that's done. Now we go to Team DH settings. You have three options for this. You can have no one with a DH, you can have everybody with a DH, or you can have certain teams with a DH. What has defaulted into the system is what I'm going to keep. There are three teams with the number 1 next to them, which means they're going to use a DH, and those are the 73 A's, the 82 Brewers, and the 2011 Texas Rangers, because in that season they used the DH. No one else did. So what that's going to do by leaving these three here is when they're the home team, then no matter who they're playing, whether it's a National League team or whoever, you will use the DH. If those teams go on the road to a National League team or to a team like the 67 Red Sox that didn't use it, then the pitchers will have to hit. So that's what we'll keep that with, and we'll click OK. Alright, now we're going to come up to rules, because we want to get the lineups and the rules and everything set up for this league. So we go to options. Whoops, got to highlight the league. When you drop it off, it de-highlights the league, so you got to highlight it back. Go to options and go to rules. Alright, we want to use injuries because it's not as played, so we use injuries. We want pre-220 rules. We don't want any ghost runners or 3 batter minimums or any of that kind of stuff. If you don't want max level, you can minimize it and use advanced certain things, but I like to use a whole 9 yards. So we're going to use the whole 9 yards, and we'll click OK. And then we'll go up to the next item, which is lineups and usage. You want to give scheduled days off. So when we make our schedule, the schedule maker will give days off. We want primary with rest. That's the primary lineup you want to have. You also want to come down here and make sure you pick where the number of pitchers is 10, because on these older seasons, most times they didn't have more than about 11, 12 total pitchers, period, for the whole season. So 10 would make the most sense. They're not going to have 13 pitchers, so there's no sense in doing that. They have 25-man roster, you need 15 position players and 10 batters. 10 pitchers is what we want right here. All right. Click on that. Then go to the next one in line, which is game preferences. This we want to put in manual entry mode. We don't want dice mode or anything like that. We want manual entry because when we're playing our cards and dice, we're going to use the manual entry to input what has happened on the cards and dice. We don't need any play-by-play. We don't need all these funky bells and whistles over here. I do want to turn off the suggested defensive strategies from the computer because I don't want to see those things on the screen. But you want manual entry because that's what we're going to be doing. That's what I'm using for my Demolition League, and as I'm playing it, I have the manual entry up and I do my thing. So we click OK for that. Now we go to the next one right below that, which is card dice splits. If you're going to roll dice, you want to have them rolled manually and split cards manually. That way, if you want, instead of rolling the dice, you can roll your own dice and input the dice rolls and not do the manual entry. You can put the dice rolls in by themselves, and then the cards will do their thing. But I still prefer the other way around. But just got to set it somewhere, so I'll set it there. Next is sound. I don't want any sound. I don't want to hear the vendors. I don't want to hear music playing. I don't want to hear the crack of the bat. None of that stuff when I'm doing manual entry. I just want the information. So I'll click OK for that. Below that is the autoplay box score event. This is where you can save certain subsets of stats. So say you want to know how the 67 Red Sox did in their 6 games against the 2011 Rangers. We can do team by team subsets. Same with home and road. You want to see how they did on the home versus how they did on the road. If you're interested in doing it by day, you can do that too. There's all kinds of little things here. And how you want to save things and what you want to save and when events you want to save certain things. All those things are in those options. Then the last item, well, that's pretty much it for that. So that's going to cover that. Now, want to go to schedule because we don't know who's playing who. We got to create a schedule. So we go over here to league, scroll down to schedule maintenance, and click on schedule maintenance. And right now there's empty. There's nothing there. it defaults to April 2nd of whatever year we are in. Now, I could manually make a schedule if I wanted to. I could click on April 2nd, and I could do add. And I could say, hey, we're going to have the 67 Red Sox play the 2011 Rangers, and it's going to be a night game, and I'm going to put it on hold so I can play it later. I could do that if I wanted to. I could add it, but I don't want to. I want the computer to make this for me. So I'm going to clear this, and we'll go over here to generate. And it's going to ask you some information. Well, we want 54 games, so we change that to 54. It's going to ask you if you want to weight games in one division over the other division. So maybe the American League teams play the American teams more than National League. I want everybody to play everybody the same, so I'll make that 50%. And then you can keep that at 65. I usually make it 70 just for the heck of it. Doesn't really matter. Click OK, and there you are. And there it gives you a preview. It says, all right, we're going to create this schedule where all teams play each other 3 times at home and 3 times on the road. Gives you 27 home games, 27 road games. So we hit yes, and it says schedule generated. Hit OK, hit OK. Now, second step in the schedule, go back to league. Instead of schedule maintenance, we're going to schedule batch change. We want all these games in the computer that are scheduled to be on hold. We don't want them auto-played by accident. You could put them to manual if you want. I prefer to put them on hold. But if you put them on manual, then you have to play them in the order they show. On hold, you can pick whichever order you want. So we do them on hold, hit OK, yes, and there we go. So now if we go up to the schedule, we go to File, New Scheduled, you can see who they've got playing who, and everything is on hold. So that's what we wanted. When it's time to go play a game, if I didn't want to play Texas and Oakland first, say I wanted to play Brooklyn and the Pittsburgh Pirates first, the 55 Brooklyn Dodgers and the 71 Pirates. Suppose I want to play them first. I can by doing the manual. If I had all these manuals, if I had everything turned to manual, by default it would bring up the Texas-Oakland game first. So that's the reason why I put everything to hold. Alright, I'll just get out of that. Now, the last thing we need to do is make the rosters. What I mean by make the rosters, make the active rosters. Because right now it's defaulting to having about 35 guys on the roster that we don't need. We only need 25. We need 15 batters and 10 pitchers. So, let's look at Brooklyn and Pittsburgh. Let's say we're going to do that. Go to Brooklyn, go to Team, and we're going to go to Promote, Demote Minor Leagues. All right. They only have 25 to begin with, so we're kind of at a loss about what we have to do. So we're going to have to allow them to have 11 pitchers because they just don't have everybody. I mean, they don't have enough position players to fill out. So Koufax is the only one who's not on the active roster, and so we'll just leave it at that. So what we'll have to do now, since they only have 11, we're going to have to change it from 15 to 10 to 14 and 11. I want everybody to have the same number of pitching, same number of hitting. So we'll keep that at 14 and 11 for Brooklyn. We'll go to Pittsburgh, make sure they're at 14 and 11. And you can do this for every team in the league. Right now they're at 19 and 12, so I need to take off one of their pitchers. Don't know who yet. Let's see if I see somebody maybe that needs to be removed. Well, we'll take this batter off. But Miller here, Lamb. We'll take Lamb off. He doesn't need to be there. So that gives them their 11 pitchers they need. Now we need 14 batters, so we got to take away 4 batters and put them in the minors. So Taylor only had 12. We'll put him in the minors. Lanier, we'll put him in the minors. Richie Zisk is there. Richie Zisk only had 16, so he's in the minors. Need to take away one more, and I just generally look at who had the fewest at bats. Let's see here. Somebody's going to have to go that's got over 100 at bats, I got a feeling. Well, since I don't care for him, we will put Mazeroski in the minors. Because we're going to have Gene Allen, Hernandez, Pagan, Cash, all those guys can play second base, so we don't need that many second basemen. Rennie Stennett's also another second baseman. So we don't need that many second basemen. Alright, so there's 14-11, we're done. Alright, now let's say we want to play that game, Dodgers and Pittsburgh. Well, We go over here, change it to manual, and hit play. The other ones are on hold. They're not going to play. So we get to our main screen. Steve Blass against Don Newcomb. That's a pretty good pitching matchup. If we want to edit the lineups at all, we can go in and edit the lineups if we feel compelled to do so. I'll keep these as default, I guess. But let's say, for instance, we didn't want Gene Alley at short. We wanted Jose Hernandez. Well, you take Jose Hernandez and you drag him over and put him in the spot right here, and he takes Gene Alley's place. You hit OK, and now he's right here, ready to go. Make sure we're at human versus human, which is what we have. And we're going to, if you want to create the game result files, you click that. If not, you just play ball. Now, I don't have Pittsburgh Stadium in here, unfortunately. In the 71 season, I did not put in Three River Stadium, so it's missing there. It's going to default to Yankee Stadium. That's irrelevant, doesn't matter anyway. But you see how we get to the league. So now, let's say we're going to cancel out of this like it never happened. So we're going to click the X button up top and hit discard. You can get out of any game you want that way where it won't save or anything. And there you go. You've got your league. If we go to statistics for the league stats, you can see it gave an error because no games have been played yet. It was looking for a line score. There are no line scores. But you can see you've got it all set up. You've got it set up, National League in their division, American League in their division, and you're all set and ready to go. So, if there is anything else that I didn't cover that you would like to see covered, or you have a question, leave it in the comments. I'll do my best to answer it. To get out of this whole program and save what we have done, go over here to the right, to the X button, the upper right hand corner, click that, and it's going to say we're going to back up this 1900 LD league. So you click OK, and there we go. We're all set and we're out of there.